the American people see that the Democratic Party is obviously doing this political con job on Donald Trump here. So, CJ, the judge said the trial date to March 4th, one day before Super Tuesday.
Wow.
And then Democrats want to tell people that this is not political. And this is one of the Republican people here. I recognize the guy, Byron Daniels. So this is a Republican, so I acknowledge that point of view. March 4th, the day before Super Tuesday, their attempts to interfere with the 2024 presidential election are so brazen, it's disgusting. How you pronounce that? Judge Chukan should be thrown off the bench and run for DNC chair. So I just want to give you guys thoughts on that, because the Democrats promise this is not political. Meanwhile, they are literally putting the trial a day before Super Tuesday.
I've never seen the system move this quickly. These are cases. Are these cases that just started and they're just a few months later they're going to be starting?
Yeah, I remember some
massive cases.
I remember some liberal smarty pants guy on the MSNBC was talking about one like a long time ago. He's like, actually, with these federal cases, all this stuff, it actually takes a very, very long time. A lot of these cases might take like a year and a half to 2 years. And I'm like, yeah, CJ, what happened to that? It went from,
I'm like,
it take a long time for these cases to go. Now they get it done right before the election, and people think this is not political. What?
I don't.
Well, like I said before, the Democrats want to make this a super fast rush, but when you rush things, you skip over steps, you forget things. And the thing is, this also has the potential of blowing up in the Democrats' face because if they're in such a rush to really interfere and mess around with this election, there's a very good chance that they didn't cross their I's or dot their T's. They're going to screw up. I'm expecting liberal Democrats to screw up. They're just assuming that people's emotions or Trump running is what's going to help them win hearts and minds. This is not going to help them at all. This will blow up in their face. Watch. We're going to be talking about this and how this will eventually also boost up Trump's numbers as well.
I think that is what you said, Nick. I think they're trying to induce some fashion on the right to do something. This is the only explanation for this.
It won't work.
Just ridiculous sort of things that they're doing here. That's clearly political. Anybody can see it. You're seeing people who are apolitical all over TikTok talk about this, and not any political terms. They're just saying, like the black lady with the bonnet. She was just saying, like, this is so ridiculous. Like, she didn't say any like political terms. Just talking about how the system is trying to crush him because of something. But go ahead, Nick or Russell.
To CJ's point, for those who didn't hear it, I said it before. One of the goals, because the establishment, they work in ways where they benefit in multiple ways. One of the goals of doing the Trump prosecutions and going after their chief political rival, something that would start regime change if Nicholas Maduro or someone in the global south did that right. One of the reasons why they do this is because they want nothing more than another January 6th. They want, they see this new shooting now. I saw an MSNBC segment where they talking about taking guns from people immediately, increasing police state budgets. So yeah, they doing it because they want to pick Trump supporters off, and they do something crazy. They would use that as an excuse to make another domestic terrorism bill, increase police states under the guise of going after white supremacy, and then they would use that to go after the left and other socialist or working class movements. That's my theory. That's what we continue to see. And think about this. Why would they do this right before Super Tuesday? Because it's a middle of an election where most people are paying attention and people are most invested. CJ, Russell, kid, when are people the most invested? Like literally the most invested in the outcome.
Yeah.
Right before Super
before Super Tuesday.
Yeah, the day of.
So they want someone to snap and do something crazy before the trial, and all of a sudden they got the political will and capital to increase the police state as they want to. That's why I clearly believe it's happening, and something I see a lot of people not calling out because they don't view politics through the lens of class and state violence. That's clearly the goal of the liberal establishment. And many of the Trump supporters who feel like they find establishment, they will happily cheer that on because they love cops in the police state too. But I think someone was. I think Russell.
Yeah,
someone was
you notice that everything the Democrats tell us we have to elect them to avoid because the Republicans are going to do it are the things they end up doing. You have to vote for us because the Republicans are going to cut public benefits. They wind up cutting welfare. They wind up cutting public benefits. You have to stop the Republicans because they're going to create a really draconian justice system that abuses black and brown people. They create that justice system. They say you have to vote for Republicans because they're going to undermine our electoral system. They'll jail their political opponents. Well, the Republicans chanted about it. You actually did it. You're actually, it's always like that. They say shit, and then you do that shit. You actually do that shit. So what do you think? And there's another dimension of it that they never seem to think about. Okay, so now you're jailing your political opponent or trying to. What the fuck do you think's going to happen to you when they come into power?
Exactly.
Like they're coming for you. They're coming for all of you. Lock her up is going to become real because you know you're all guilty of crimes. Like if you're going to play like this, like, hey, you're guilty of stuff, so we're going to lock you up. Those old rules of, hey, man, we're just not going to do it because we do it to you. You could do it to us. You threw it out the window, man. What do you think's going to happen when the Republicans come back into power, man? You're all going to jail.
I said it.
A cycle of stupidity.
Trump in a recent speech said that once he's president, he going after the Clintons. He going after all these motherfuckers. Now, once again, my skeptical side is I don't believe him because he said that last time. But Trump, the message is that Trump is going after these people now. And then I remember the reaction from blue check liberals and MSNBC, CNN. They said, "See, this is Trump calling for more violence and grievance politics." I'm like, fam, he's saying this. He said he's going to do the same thing that you guys are actively doing. He said he's going to do it back. So that's a great point, Russell.